Hi guys, it's Nigel Richardson and I've been a big fan of juicing for well over 15 years now. I came across Jason Vale when my dad was sadly diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, which had manifested and travelled to his brain. He was given sadly 6 months to live, but in that time we, like any family would do, we all came together and we just wanted to try and find a cure. We wanted to prove those doctors and specialists wrong. And I remember coming across Jason Vale on the internet and was intrigued that all these fresh fruits and vegetables could make, a bit of a difference. I didn't, it might have been a bit naive of me to think that we could cure him completely of cancer, but it may have bought us some more time. And so we set about, we bought ourselves a juicer, and we got these fresh live juices down my dad every day. I used to take him into hospital every day, and I remember meeting with my dad's oncologist and we had to sit down. I said, this is fantastic, we're really upbeat, my dad's responding well to the treatment, and as a complimentary thing we're adding all these juices into his diet, and in actual fact it's the only thing that he can keep down when he's having his bouts of chemo. And she looked at me and just took me by the hand and said, look dear, if your dad wants steak, let him have steak. If he wants custard and pie and all that kind of stuff, let him have it. I was like, what are you doing? Why would you say that in front of my dad? My dad was born during the Second World War, so he was brought up in that time of beef dripping and all that stuff, and cooking things with lard and all that kind of thing. And it took me, fortunate enough, my dad was pretty open-minded and he said, look, I'll give anything a try, but why say that in front of my dad? So all of a sudden there was me that knew absolutely nothing about any of this stuff. I had no credibility or anything, and a medical trained nurse was saying, forget all that stuff, let him eat what he wants to eat, it won't affect the outcome. And it's like, my goodness. And then she proceeded to give me a pamphlet, a 4-page pamphlet on what you could eat and couldn't eat, and it totally contradicted itself. On the front page, all this, do's and don'ts and this, that and the other. And then on the back page, it had the completely opposite thing on there. And it's like, oh my goodness. So, just one thing, don't work with children and animals. My kids are out tonight and the dogs are barking. Betsy, stop it, go and get a drink. So, sorry about that, we'll edit that a bit if you don't mind. But anyway, this started my love affair of juicing, and I just decided that I really want to. Come here, come and get a drink. Sorry, I'm going to give the dog some water. Come in. There we go. You go and clean your little ocean. So anyway, apologies about that. So I just thought to myself, you know what? I need to get on board with this. And over the past 15 years, sadly, just change the subject, so we did end up losing my dad. After 6 months, the cancer, when they found it, was just too far gone. But one thing I'm absolutely sure of, it did give my dad a better quality of life during that time with juicing. He didn't feel so sick, and I'm truly grateful for that, and truly grateful that Jason started this whole Juice in the World journey. And since then I've become a dad. I've got 3 young children. My eldest, believe it or not, has just become a teenager, hence the banner up on the back wall there. And I want to be around for my kids. I've not eaten healthily all of my life. I've drunk these kind of drinks and eaten all the crap, as it were, over the years, and sadly spent quite a bit of time in McDonald's growing up. And I just don't want to do that, and I don't want that for my kids. It's ridiculous to think that all these big food companies can just ram all this down your throat. And it needs to change, and we want to educate people. And that's why I'm really keen on becoming part of this juicy movement. And as I say, it's become a big part of our lives on a daily basis. And in actual fact, I celebrated my 50th birthday nearly 2 years ago, and I just thought, what a great time to get properly into juicing. I remember going to Tesco's and picking up some Wellman tablets, Wellman 50, and I looked at the packet and I just thought, how can that be any good for you? Here you've got a lump of chalk and it's saying on the packet that these tablets were valid for 3 years. I just thought, there's no way I'm going to get any goodness out of those at all. Just bear with us a sec, I'm just going to let the dogs out. I'm still here, still talking. So again, don't work with children and animals. My kids are currently out, so I've got no chance of editing this video, but it is what it is, and it is me just talking from the heart, really. So yeah, 2 years ago we became really fascinated and into juicing once again, and it's every day since then. Even Christmas Day we've juiced every single day. Some days it might be up to 4 juices depending on how much time we've got or how we're feeling about ourselves. We've done quite a few juice fasts and followed some of the ones that Jason's done as well. But more often than not, we will have a juice for breakfast and then maybe one for lunch as well, and have a normal evening meal. But yeah, I'm just absolutely fascinated by it all, and as a result, and seeing what it's done to the way that we are, it's rubbed off on quite a few of our friends, and I reckon we've probably had about 20 different families over the past 2 years that have all dipped their toes into juicing, and I reckon 6 of those are probably juicing on a regular basis. And more recently, again, sadly, my mother-in-law as well was diagnosed during lockdown with stage 4 lung cancer, and she managed to last a little bit longer than my dad. She had 18 months. We lost her recently back in August, and she embraced juicing as well. And I'm convinced from the bottom of my heart that prolonged her life, absolutely 100%. So I just want to spread the word like Jason does. I want my children to grow up thinking this is part of their daily routine. They juice daily, and they love it. And I love the beetroot juices. I love the fact when you take a beetroot juice and you can actually feel it. I feel it going all the way down, and it might be psychological, who knows, but it feels like it's just going down in all your veins and your extremities, down to your fingertips and down to your toes, and it's a fantastic feeling. So yeah, just want to be on this journey, and totally fascinated. So this is my little video take on Jason's goldfish analogy. We couldn't find a goldfish, so we've had to nick my little boy's toy shark, which is Virgil Sharky. So here's Virgil. He's swimming around in some lovely, clean, nutrient-rich water, living life. His dorsal fin's lovely and up, and he's just having a great time. But like everyone in life, we all like nice bits and pieces over time. So this clean water over a period of time might start to become a little bit murky. And you add things like, fizzy drinks, for example. And as you can see, the water starts to become a little bit murky. But we all have a natural filtration system that can deal with these kind of things. But over time, we might start adding in some white bread, for example, and then some biscuits. Like biscuits in there, that's obviously full of sugar. Can of Coke, 7 teaspoons of sugar. And that's probably not all you're going to get during the course of your day, especially if you love a little bit of chocolate. If you go through the day and you need a little bit of lift, you might say, well, I fancy a little bit of chocolate, bunk some of that in. Might have a little bag of crisps. It's funny, isn't it? Some of these, you go to these supermarkets and stuff, and you get these little £3 meal deals, and they think that you get your sandwich, and we all want a bag of crisps and a bar of chocolate. I mean, who decides that? That's crazy. And all these other so-called healthy drinks that have been pasteurised and got loads of sugar, like the not so innocent drinks that are now owned by Coca-Cola. Anyway, over the period of the course of the day, you may add some more sugar in. So some nice white refined sugar in there, adding that to the mix, mixing it all around. Look at that. Now that is not so clean anymore, is it? So our filtration systems are like literally dealing with this, and all living things have a natural filtration system. But over time, they might get clogged up. And this little shark's going around having a nice time, but he might start feeling a bit sluggish. So you might bung some coffee in there to try and perk him up a little bit. And then later on during the day, he's flagging a little bit. So he might get, look at this, unbelievable. How these companies try and rip off other brands. This is a Red Thunder, but pretty much looks like the one that gives you wings. So you put, God, this stinks. Jesus. So yeah, that just sort of goes in there as well, and it all starts becoming a bit of a sticky mess, and you think, my goodness. But over a period of time, this fish, he might start thinking, he's feeling a bit groggy. He's getting regular headaches. Might start developing a cough or a skin condition as his filtration system gets a little bit clogged up, as he's trying to deal with all this kind of stuff on a daily basis. All these dead foods going in there that are not doing them any good whatsoever. So you might get a little bit of a cough. So what do? We go to the chemist, get a little bit of cough mixture, pour that down, and then you might start getting a little bit of indigestion of all these different foods. So let's bung a little Rennie in there, add that to the mix and see what that does. And then you might start getting some headaches and so forth, so we'll add a little paracetamol or two in there, like that. But all these do are treat the symptoms, not the cause. And over a period of time, you might develop more serious diseases, and you might start getting arthritis or diabetes and things like that, and God forbid, cancer. So what we need to do basically is just cleanse the water. It's not that difficult. It's really, really simple. It just makes sense. Most people will spend more money or time or worry about looking after their car than they do their bodies, which is the only real place they've got to live. So, really, all we need to do is cleanse the water and remove the toxicity and replace the deficiencies. All this, I can't pour this out all over the top, over the work surface. My wife will shoot me. But as you can see, that water is starting to clear already. Fergal's feeling a lot better. But as I say, that is all we're looking to do with juicing, is remove the toxicity and replace the deficiencies with nice live micronutrients and enzymes that flood the body and feed the cells. Hope you liked my little presentation today. Sorry if I waffled on a little bit at the start there, but I'm massively passionate about this journey, and I will get it completed in a busy sort of life that we all have these days. But I've firsthand seen the benefits of what juicing can do, and I'm just waiting for my old Philips juicer to pack up so I can buy myself a new Jason Val cold press slow juicer. Hopefully, I might even have to knock it off the worktop to get a new one soon. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Hope this is all okay and I haven't waffled on too much. Oh, I know one thing you did say that we should do is have some backup material, and I just printed this off the other day and I didn't realise at the time, but this is actually from 2015 to 2016, that they say that in 63% of adults in England were overweight or obese, and that's like 7 years ago now. And children aged between 10 and 11 were obese, 20% of children between 10 and 11 were obese, and a further 14.3 were overweight at that age. That's just scary, isn't it? And there's just a little bit of other stuff there. The NHS spent an estimated 6.1 billion on overweight and obesity related ill health. That is just bonkers. 6.1 billion. Unbelievable. And obesity cost the wider society 27 billion. You know what a funny thing is? We were lucky enough to go to Florida a few years ago, and for some reason they've got loads of these little scooter places, and you see these people sitting on these scooters. Well, I presume they're sitting on scooters because you can't actually see the scooter, and they go into these fast food restaurants and they go in and they'll have a triple Big Mac, hamburger chaser, apple pie, ice cream, a churro like this with loads of chocolate and God knows sugar all over it, and ask for a Diet of Coke. Where's the logic in that? Anyway, this is me, Nigel Richardson, signing out on my Juice Master Academy video. Hope it's all alright. Thanks a lot, guys. Speak to you soon.